So now Bad Bunny. Very different. Very different.
They mad now because they thought they couldn't get blacker than Kendrick Lamar. But now, you know what? Jay-Z was like, fuck that. Now you're not even gonna get black. You gonna get no English, baby. No English.
No English.
Y'all people are gonna be so mad. Because now you're not even gonna understand what he's saying.
God, no English is crazy.
Now it's really not your Super Bowl.
You was mad at Kendrick. Now y'all don't even got English. It's crazy.
This the kind of beat to go. This the kind of beat to go. This the kind of beat to go. Rock, top, top.
Blah, blah, blah. Welcome back to another episode of the Petty Headquarters. I'm your host, Tiana Luck, and this is
Jesse Strange.
And we are back at it again with another episode. And of course, this time we're coming to you live. Well, not live, but we're coming to you with a crazy trending topic that I feel like everyone's talking about, which we just had to speak about it. Mm-hmm. And this is Bad Bunny performing at the Super Bowl.
Yes. I just want a round of applause for my boy. Let's go. But before we get into it, I just want to say hello, everybody. This is the Petty Headquarters. We cover baddies, reality TV, pop culture, all that shebang. So if you're new, welcome, subscribe. It's free 99. Go rate our audio only podcast on all platforms, etc. And for those of you returning, thank you for returning. We appreciate y'all. Thank you for listening to us, to being a part of the Petty Posse, the Petty Crash Outs. Yeah, and I'm really excited to get into this topic. I've been bottling this up for quite some time.
Yeah, so let's get into this week's dose of mess and let's talk about it.
Yeah, let's talk about it.
So Bad Bunny, it was announced that Bad Bunny is going to be performing at the Super Bowl, which is a crazy announcement. And honestly, I'm here for it because why the fuck not? But then you have a lot of people, a particular group of people who are not here for it, who are making very ignorant comments. You know, the same comments they made when Kendrick performed last year, talking about this is not my Super Bowl. I don't know this Super Bowl, you know, same comments. Yeah. Same thing when Beyonce performed too. Same comments. Same thing when Rihanna performed too. Same comments. So now Bad Bunny, very different. Very different.
They mad now because they thought they couldn't get blacker than Kendrick Lamar. But now, you know what? Jay-Z was like, fuck that. Now you're not even gonna get black. You gonna get no English, baby. No English.
No English.
Y'all people are gonna be so mad. Because now you're not even going to understand what he's saying.
God, no English is crazy.
Now it's really not your Super Bowl.
You was mad at Kendrick. Now y'all don't even got English. It's crazy.
I know, I love it. I'm so excited for my boy. You know,
you're a fan.
Huge fan. Huge Bad Bunny fan. Like,
yes.
That is the guy. And I can't wait to talk about it because I can't. So like, I'm flustered. I have been flustered because for when he first, and obviously Tiana and I went to the residency concert, which was in Puerto Rico, got to experience the whole thing. Bad Bunny has been a huge star for a long time, but this residency really brought eyes to him like on a whole nother level because not only was it trending that he decided not to do tours in America because he considered ICE being a huge factor in his shows and how they're going to target his demographic because of who he is.
Right.
And so he made it known prior, like during the residency, that that's the reason why he didn't choose America as a part of his tour. So we went and it was a magical time. Like you don't experience nothing like that. It was a unique experience. And like everybody was eating in Puerto Rico. Everybody was winning from that residency to the point where they had estimated Bad Bunny to bring in $2.2 million. But at the end of the residency, it turns out that he brought in like $7.4 million to the island.
Wow.
Which was triple the amount that they had estimated. Mm-hmm. Which, of course, that makes a statement within itself, right? What artist do you know in today's day and age? What artist do you know moves with purpose? Most people move with money. They move where money matters.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
And that's the reason why he is big the way he is today. because he moves with purpose. There's a purpose behind it. And with everything being so greedy in America, with inflation being so high, stress being so high, people losing everything, their jobs, their hope, their savings. Nobody wants to support somebody that just moves with money. So when Jay-Z, I'm sure, saw this, they were like, oh shit, this is huge. This is insane amount of numbers. When you go on Amazon, so like, again, this guy, Bad Bunny Benito, he moves with purpose so much that his last show was not only a surprise, he did it for Puerto Rican residents only. He did one more show and he live streamed it on Amazon, which I didn't know was only for 24 hours.
Yeah. There were some people that knew and they watched it for the whole 24 hours.
Yeah. Well, I was there. I watched it when it premiered as if I didn't watch it before. Yeah. It was my first time because it was like, and I didn't know that it would, after 24 hours, it would just disappear. So anyways, Amazon, they did this huge thing where not only did Amazon live stream this, but they also did a program with Bad Bunny where they contribute back to Puerto Rico, where they list your local Puerto Rican artist or local Puerto Rican like products to Puerto Ricans that are located like on the island. And then they also donated, like there's like this whole funding of like just programs for the schools and giving back to the island basically, which is huge. Again, purpose. That being said, guess what? That live stream ended up having 11 million views, which topped Taylor Swift, which topped Beyonce, which topped every artist by like more, like double. It wasn't even like close, actually. So
wild numbers.
He's doing huge things. So it was a huge surprise, but almost kind of like, wow. With those numbers, how do you deny his impact on people, right? To the point where, you know, the famous song "Debí tirar más fotos." Apparently, there are people who are relating that song to Gaza and Palestine, like they want, or not that song. Also, what they did, the Hawaii song. They want to take away my rivers, and then they show the rivers. They want to.
I did not know that they were doing that, but that, I mean,
goes to show you how universal. His music is in Spanish, but his impact has no language. It translates through everything, and that shows you his impact. Right. Now, that being said, when he announced the fucking Super Bowl, I was excited.
Yo, a lot of people thought that video was AI, and that was actually real. Like, that was actually a real place in Puerto Rico, and he recorded that shit. And I was like, that shit is fire.
That was a beach he used to hang out when he grew up there.
That's crazy. See, everything just has purpose. Everything has intention. Like, he moves with intention with everything.
And that's what makes him so powerful.
Even the concert, though, like, when we were there in Puerto Rico, you felt that shit. Like, I felt that shit. Like, I cried. I didn't even expect myself to fucking cry during the fucking concert. Like, why the fuck am I crying?
Right.
But I did, and it was, like, really nice. It was just, like, you felt the energy. So, you know, I love that. And what annoys me about this whole thing is that it is a particular group of people that are complaining about Bad Bunny performing at the Super Bowl. And people hate when we talk about race. They hate when we talk about race, but when you keep proving people's point, what do you expect?
So there was a lot of controversy, which, okay, I just wanted a minute to enjoy my favorite artist. To me, when I saw him announce that, I was like, oh my God, this is huge for the Latin community. Yeah. Holy fuck.
You never see that. Who was the last person besides Selena?
No, J-Lo and Shakira.
Don't count. Shakira, okay.
They performed and they brought Bad Bunny out.
Kind of don't count though. Like, nobody really respects J-Lo like that.
But also,
like, Selena, Shakira, okay. But like, other than that, it's been so long since you've had anyone that was like a part of the Latin culture this big to perform at the Super Bowl and to do such big things.
Huge things. And you know, they said, you know, Shakira and J-Lo were the last ones that were Puerto Rican that actually performed.
What year was that?
That was a couple years ago. And they actually brought J Balvin and Bad Bunny.
Oh,
they brought him
I don't even remember that.
Right, but the thing is also they're very Americanized. Bad Bunny is not afraid to carry his culture wherever he goes.
That is very true.
And that's
the difference.
The huge difference.
Huge difference.
This man barely speak English for y'all. Okay? And that's what pissed people off. Because he
really is true though.
Yeah, like he don't even sound good in English. Like,
no.
So it's like, people, I was so happy, thrilled. I was geeking over it. I'm like, yo, this is huge. Of course he's going to get this because look at the impact he's had.
Yeah.
And then not even 24 hours later, I think it must have been 48 hours later, I started hearing the comments. I'm like, wow, I can't even enjoy my favorite artist because y'all, a particular group of people want to play this. Oh, this is America. Can you believe he's not, singing in English? This is not my Super Bowl. Yeah. And all these ignorant comments coming out of the woodworks. I'm like, bro, y'all realize America, hello, Latinos have been here. They were the second largest language in the country. You know what I'm saying? It's fucking weird that people just want to sit there and be very right-winged all of a sudden, or just, I don't know. I don't know. I'm getting angry talking about it.
I just think it's so interesting because there's a video that went viral on Instagram and I thought it was hilarious. And it popped up on my feed and I know you also had sent it to me. And it was a video of this black guy trying to learn the songs so he could be ready for the Super Bowl. And when you look at the comments, a lot of people in the comments are black folks and they're like, yo, see, we're not offended. Yeah. It's the other people. We don't care. Mm-hmm. We gonna vibe out because the shit still slap, even if we don't understand what he's saying. But then there were other comments that was so funny that was even us Spanish speakers don't understand what the fuck he's saying. We still struggle too. So you got it.
It's true. He speak fast.
He does speak very fast. And it's just so interesting that going back to what you're saying, this particular group of people, this same thing happened with Kendrick Lamar. This same thing happened with Beyonce when she did the whole Black Panther celebration. That's when people started to realize that Beyonce was a little black, and they started to feel offended by that. And it just goes back to, again, you guys are just very used to just having things your way. The entitled mentality, the entitled energy that you are literally throwing a tantrum because someone that speaks Spanish is performing at a Super Bowl.
And bro, it's crazy. It's 15 minutes and you're not even buying it. You're turning on the channel.
Yeah, that part.
You can turn off.
That part.
You act like someone's literally holding your head to the screen.
That part.
Making you watch.
That part. And also it's his numbers speak for itself. His numbers don't lie. So if you're going to look at this like a numbers game and look at this as what's popping in the media, Bad Bunny is popping right now.
He's huge.
As he should perform at the Super Bowl. Because if anything, the NFL, they're looking at, and whoever's in charge, they're looking at what's going to benefit them. You really think they give a fuck about you and your right-wing beliefs and thoughts? No, they're thinking about their pockets. They're thinking about what's going to sell. They're thinking about what's going to make people watch the fucking Super Bowl.
Mark my words, clip this part. This is going to be the biggest watch Super Bowl ever. Bigger than Kendrick. Kendrick had it big because of the beef with Drake.
He did.
He's going to blow Kendrick out the water.
I agree. I 100%
100%.
agree.
And then people are still going to have things to say.
Yeah.
But the numbers will not lie.
They
Your
won't.
emotions, you can take all that shit out.
Exactly.
Because I promise you, Bad Bunny's going to have the biggest halftime show ever watched in American history.
Next to Michael Jackson?
Yeah.
You think it's going to be bigger than Michael Jackson?
Hell yeah.
We'll see.
Hell yeah.
We'll see.
Kendrick was bigger than Michael Jackson.
Was it? I thought Michael Jackson was still the largest.
No. Kendrick was the largest, but it also could be, because back in the day, maybe technology wasn't as accessible.
Yeah, that's true.
That's what I'm saying.
That's true.
Kendrick had the biggest. I promise you, mark this, clip this. Y'all heard it here. Most people saying that too.
Yeah.
Because the numbers don't lie. You can't lie.
Yeah.
Speaking of numbers, there are some ignorant folks that were like complaining because they were like, oh, why can't Kid Rock perform? First of all, the fuck is Kid Rock? Second of all, Kid Rock brought in like 2.5 million monthly listeners or some shit like that when Bad Bunny has like 7 million or some shit like that. Again, going back to the numbers, but then they're quick to say he's not deserving of it. And it goes to show you how the Latin community or just people of different cultures have to work 10 times harder and then still not get accepted into or think you're deserving of an opportunity.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Because it doesn't fit your criteria of things. Mm-hmm. It's fucking irritating.
Yeah. And that's the shit that, when we think about things like that, those people don't know how to unlearn a lot of the things that they were taught, and they don't know where those comments are coming from. Because if we're really gonna look at the facts and look at the numbers, Bad Bunny is deserving. But if you're gonna say he's not deserving because he doesn't speak English, do you think that sounds good? You don't think that's racist?
Yeah.
You don't think that, and then it's the same people that be like, I'm not racist. It's okay to be Latino. It's okay. Yeah. But you don't hear yourself. He's not deserving to perform at the Super Bowl because what? He does not speak English.
Yeah, so I'm going to tell a quick story.
Does that not sound fucking racist to you?
100%. So there's this carpenter I work with. I'm not going to name drop him, but we were cool. Everything was fine until the one day.
You're telling the story here?
Yeah, I'm telling the story here.
Oh my God.
So obviously we know that Bad Bunny went on SNL, which we'll talk about that later. Great freaking show. Great freaking episode. And a part of that, he had addressed all the backlash and he had made a joke and said, you have 4 months to learn English because he said something in Spanish. And then, he said, if you didn't understand it, you have 4 months to learn. Joke. It's SNL, not the news. So
it's not Fox News, guys.
Right. So this carpenter was upset the next day. He was saying how, can you believe this arrogant asshole? He told me I have 4 months to learn Spanish. Me? Yeah. And then, why can't we get Kid Rock? And this is where I heard that comment. Why can't we get Kid Rock? Yada, this is America. And then he looks at me. He goes, right, Jess? And I'm looking at him and I couldn't help. And I told him to shut the fuck up. He was like, well, taken back, like, what do you mean? And I'm like, it was a fucking joke, actually, because he called him an arrogant asshole again. And I was like, it's a fucking joke. It was fucking SNL. That's what it's meant to be. It's supposed to be a joke, a laughing thing. And he's like, I was like, don't talk like that because you know damn well I'm Latina. And he goes, there's nothing wrong with being Latina. There's nothing wrong with being Latina. Bro, I made him as uncomfortable as he made me.
Yeah, and the thing is, with a lot of those entitled white folk, they a lot of the times walk around in the world making other people feel uncomfortable because they can. Right? A lot of environments are made for you to show up exactly how you are and not get demonized for it. Whereas other people can't show up how they are because they get demonized. They have to minimize who they are because they get demonized. They have to code switch because they get demonized. They 100%. Have to show up to fit in with you, to be more digestible for you.
100%.
Unless they'll get demonized. So this is the thing that really bothers me. You guys don't know what it's like to live like that. To
100%.
Change maybe your hair for a job interview. There is so much things that are deep. Your tone, how you show up. And listen, yes, we have to do that regardless. How you show up is important. But there are scenarios where we really do have to fucking put ourselves in a box for us to be digestible to you. And it's fucked up.
It reminds me, because
people shouldn't have to do that.
I've been seeing it all over my work environment, right? All over my work environment. He wasn't the only one. And even to the point where my fellow Latinos makes a comment he's on the phone. And to me, he didn't switch up anything. He still sound Latino to me. But what does Latino sound like, right? And so he gets off the phone and he's like, you like that, right? And I'm like what? What are you talking about? He goes, I sounded mad white on the phone, huh? And I looked at him and I'm like, bro, no, you actually sound just the same, Dave. You know what I mean? You're a fucking mad Latino, bro. I don't know. And that's the thing. It goes to show you, again, going back to the same thing. I'm really sick and tired of having to whitewash my culture just to fit in. I'm going to make you as uncomfortable because now I'm sick of it. And now I want to talk about the SNL thing. Because, I mean, first of all, Bad Bunny is not the first time being on SNL. He's been here before. And
yo, shout out to fucking K-pop Demon Hunters. Yo, shout out. I love that movie. It was so good. I love that he referenced it. I like that whole skit. That shit was lit. Shout out to Bad Bunny for being a fucking anime fan too.
100%.
Anime nerd stand up.
It goes to show you how multicultural he is.
Period.
Right? Like, if people were performing K-pop for 15 minutes at the Super Bowl, fuck it. I'm not going to sit there and say, this is America.
You see how they don't got the energy with the Asians? You see what I'm saying?
But they ain't even had the opportunity to have that reaction yet. But anyways, so yeah, he did an SNL Live. Not only did he make a skit that brought to light an old Mexican TV show, I guess. It was like a telecom show back in the day. It's huge in the Latin culture. And obviously, America wouldn't understand the reference because they obviously translated in English. But it was so cool as a Latino to see, wow, this being done on SNL is unheard of. And only Bad Bunny can do that.
Yeah.
Only he would do that. Mm-hmm. And it's crazy how it's trickled down. So obviously he also made, he had a monologue where he took all the clips from Fox News and they basically trolled them and was like, Bad Bunny is my favorite artist and he should be president next or something like that. They clipped a bunch of
I saw that.
Fox News stuff. And then he also, whatever. It's an SNL skit. He did great. I love what he's doing for the culture, so much so that Comic-Con was this past weekend. And bro, Puerto Rico showed the fuck up. All these people who were dressed as anime characters, Marvel characters, they had somehow incorporated the Puerto Rican flag. Bad Bunny himself, not himself, but like somebody cosplayed as Bad Bunny and brought a big Puerto Rican flag.
That's crazy.
And fucking Yashia, she was La Llorona. With a dress so beautiful that had the Puerto Rican flag at the bottom. I couldn't believe.
I never seen nothing like that at Comic-Con.
That's what I'm saying. The power is beautiful in a time where you're being profiled. Literally. As a Latino. You're being attacked because of what you look like.
It is a big deal but also this is a political movement. And I kind of, that's what makes this conflicting and interesting, but also great, because not only are you making music with purpose and impact, but there's also kind of a political movement here, because you see what's happening with ICE, what's happening with immigration, what's happening with, ICE people kind of not showcasing themselves. They're not showing their badges. They're not following procedures. They're not really following anything. And it's people with green cards that are even getting harassed. People that are citizens that are even getting harassed. It's getting to the point where is the infrastructure? Where is
regulation?
Thank you. You guys seem to be avoiding the law and just doing whatever the fuck you want to do, like thugs in the street. You guys are moving more like thugs and a gang instead of moving like something that's structured, So that's where this is coming into this weird political thing where now there was a statement on the news, which I think has to be rage baiting, has to be trolling, because this is ugly, where they said they're going to have ICE agents outside the Super Bowl while Bad Bunny is performing. And I'm just like, do you really first of all, how much is a Super Bowl ticket?
Right. Exactly. Expensive.
Right.
Expensive. I'll take football in general. Seats are expensive. So the Super Bowl is beyond.
Do you really think the people you're looking for are going to be in there?
And to be honest, even if, because that's not to say illegals can't have money. 100%.
No, but also if
they
that's
have
the case,
money.
That's true.
But you really think in this administration, you really think that you really think that they're gonna try it when they can just watch it for free?
That's what I'm saying.
Que pendejos son. Like, they really don't think.
Saying, like, why would they show up there when they can watch it on TV? Like, what the fuck? So this just doesn't make any sense. But also,
go ahead. Sorry.
No, it's just also them even announcing it with such conviction. Like, like it almost feels very like this is a dictatorship. This is a totalitarian type government because the way you're so like, yeah, we're gonna be out. Like, you're a thug. You're a thug on my television screen.
Street thug.
Right, but you're making it seem like you're not because what? You
hide
speak English? You look a certain way that matches your blueprint of the people that you think should succeed? And that's my problem, you know? This is what I don't like because I try my hardest to be like, maybe it's not racist, but what that guy said, he told me I need to speak English, like,
and,
you know?
And it's crazy because that same carpenter was also when the other carpenter told him, oh yeah, did you hear about that? The ICE is gonna be outside the show. You know what he said? Good.
Of course he did.
Good. We need to get him out of here.
Yep.
And I'm like, do you understand the implications? Like, do you understand how hurtful it is when I hear shit like that? Because you don't know, Black people know, but you don't know what it's like where I have to pray every day for my grandma who looks hella indigenous. I don't, clearly, because you're comfortable talking to me as if I'm not Latina, but my grandma looks hella indigenous. She could look, if you want to profile her, as an illegal immigrant when she's been here legal since she was fucking, 16. She lives in Florida, and I have to pray every day that she's not at the wrong place at the wrong time.
Because they're not following procedures. And it's like ridiculous. Like even people that are legal are going through shit.
Are disappearing.
Yes. And now this is also trickling down to like happening in Chicago. And now they're targeting Black people in Chicago. And now I'm just like, okay, this is getting... I don't know what's going on, and it's very uncomfortable. And also, I feel like the media,
it's on purpose.
It is on purpose. So when to scare people too, to just inflict so much fear, because it's like the fact that this man really stood on there. Yeah, we're gonna be out, like sitting up with so much, like it bothered me because I'm like,
and guess what? It works,
and that's what bothers me.
My grandmas are scared to leave the country.
And they're legal. That's the thing that bothers me. So it's like, if you're legal and you like, why the fuck?
You're legal and you're scared.
That's a problem. That's a problem.
And then you have these assholes that are so out of touch that sit there, oh, it's just America, right? Right, Jess? Right, Jess? Suck my dick.
And then this is what I'm saying. Y'all love to say it's not about race. I don't see race. But then you mention race first. You mention all these weird things that are indicative of that you are racist. You are, because you're literally upset that someone is performing and he's not performing in English. Before, you didn't have nothing to say, but you were upset about Kendrick Lamar. It was too Black for you then. Now it's too Spanish.
Now it's not even fucking English,
it's
bitch.
Not even English.
These are the same people, by the way, that want to fucking have Mexican food. They want to have Colombian food. They want to go to Taco Bell. They want to have all these seasonings that they swear.
Yeah.
Because Taco Bell ain't fucking Mexican. But y'all swear y'all want to eat Chinese food. Y'all want to eat Korean food, halal food. But the minute
food,
but the minute the Arabs get a moment, the minute the Koreans get a moment, the minute the Latinos get a moment, now all of a sudden it's America.
What's crazy is that, not for nothing, they don't even give that energy to the Korean people. They don't. They actually give them their props. You know, when it comes to skincare, oh, it's Korean. When it comes to anything else, nobody gets a prop. When it comes to Koreans, oh, you know why? Because they
can
have
blend.
But also the media has put Asians on a pedestal by saying that they're the model minorities for the longest time.
But even before that.
Yeah, but they've also done that in the media. They've done that in so many varieties.
But even in history.
Submissive.
In history.
Yeah.
For instance, if you look at the movie Sinners, it's a great depiction of back in the day how, because Asians can be digested in both cultures, white and Black, they're more like you said, they are the minority that's accepted in both.
Another thing I want to talk about too, you know, there were also a lot of people on their shows online saying that, you know, I thought he wasn't gonna do any shows in the US. I thought he wasn't gonna, but now he's gonna go to the Super Bowl. Like, he's a sellout. There's a lot of people also calling Bad Bunny a sellout for even performing at the Super Bowl. What are your thoughts on that?
I was ready for this conversation because, one, thanks to Tiana, I'm going to read this real quick. I did not know this because I
Yep.
knew he wasn't a sellout before this information, but this is important to know.
Yep.
I looked it up on Google. I said, does the Super Bowl pay their performers? And they said, no, the NFL does not pay Super Bowl halftime performers a large appearance fee. Instead, performers receive union scale pay, which is a modest amount, and the league covers all production and travel costs for the show. So for people who are saying he's a sellout, one, you're wrong. Two, he made his money in Puerto Rico.
Yep.
He didn't need to do this. You want to know why he did this? Because he knew the statement that it was going to make when presented the opportunity.
Mhm.
When he made it a big stink about ICE being there, he knew, he was like, all right, one show. Guess what? The immigrants are not going to be at the Super Bowl. They're going to be tuning in because that shows you the power of Latinos here in America and in the world. One. Two, in a state where you are shunned for looking a little too Latino, he's going to bring that culture to light. And number three, people were saying, oh, you know, I hate that everything has to be politicized. First of all, one, Bad Bunny has always been very political with every movement he's ever done. And two, blame your president for making everything political.
Yeah,
You
because
voted for it.
literally,
You-
I don't remember Bad Bunny coming for Trump unprovoked. So,
But also, if Biden or anybody else was in administration, it wouldn't be that big of a deal. We wouldn't even be hearing the tweets about it. We wouldn't even be caring about the president's opinion on what they think about the performance of the halftime show. No one gives a fuck. The only reason why is because this administration politicizes everything.
yeah.
So blame the people that voted. Okay, at the end of the day, he's not a sellout because I feel like he moves with purpose. And Google said it yourself. This man
Yeah.
don't need that fucking money.
Performers don't get paid for the Super Bowl, y'all. If in case y'all didn't know.
Do you think he's a sellout?
I don't think he's a sellout. I mean, I don't know what he would be selling out. Like, I just don't, like,
So my mom
yo.
swears.
Because you've been watching The Truth Is.
But the problem with the truth is that he never accounts for culture. And that bothers
He
me.
doesn't, because he did that with the movie Sinners too,
Correct.
when recapping it.
Exactly.
He didn't account for the culture.
My mother swears that Bad Bunny is going to come out to the performance and he's going to do all these triangles and all these horses and all
Illuminati
these
shit.
Illuminati shit, praising the devil.
How Latina that sounds?
LD. Mad Latina, bro. Like, talking about,
Mad
he's,
Catholic.
yeah, OD. And because every other performance was like that, I guess. And my thing is this. I said, look, everybody's going to be pleasantly surprised at what he's got to bring. He never moves with any, he doesn't do shit small. And the fact that the NFL is going to cover the cost, I know for a fact he's going to do something big. And he's going to impress even the people that weren't even ready to be impressed. And that's just what his music does and what he does as a person. So that's all I got to say. Two, if you're telling me when we went, he brought Puerto Rico to the stage. We were sitting at fucking Cerro Mime. We saw the mountain on the stage.
That shit
We
was
saw
crazy.
bomba, plena, salsa, everything.
It
The
was
roots.
beautiful. And he made sure to talk about that, to pay homage to the roots of all of that.
You
Like,
telling me you don't think he's gonna bring that to this stage? Absolutely, he is.
They're gonna get even more mad.
They're gonna be so mad.
even more mad when they find out the roots.
And then people are like, it's because he represents the left or the right, whatever the fuck the blue side is, because he used to dress as a girl.
the left is the blue.
He
Right
used
is
to
the-
dress as a girl. He used to wear nails. And I'm like, bro, first of all, he talks about that time in his career. And he says he don't even recognize that guy anymore because he's grown so much and learned to appreciate who he is and
You
his
could
culture.
tell he's grown a lot.
Right.
You know,
Two-
he was younger, was young.
But two, just to educate people who don't have the Spanish friends to educate them. When he wore dresses, he also talked about the girl, the trans woman that was killed in Puerto Rico. Because she was trans. It was a hate crime. And he represented her name. He performed with a dress. And he was doing that because in the Latin culture, there's a lot of machismo. There's a lot of men that say, oh, if you're a little flamboyant, if you paint your nails, if you do that, then it's not okay. And that is him breaking cultural barriers that he has always done. Even when he came out and represented the LGBTQ, he was making songs about love is love and representing gays, lesbians, queers, all types of shit. All because of the Latino culture. People don't understand that in the Latin culture, it's still very ignorant to shit like that. The fucking American right wing, left wing, whatever the fuck wing you want to be on, want to sit there and run with it, talk about, oh, he's this, he's that, he's Illuminati because he dresses like a girl, he did the humiliation ritual. My God, do you guys not realize that people, you know what it is? They don't know what it's like for an artist to move with purpose because most artists don't move with purpose. So everything is Illuminati, everything's a sellout. When it's like, bro, he's far from that.
But also, you know, to these American folks, they're so used to having things done for them that they can't even appreciate other things done in other ways or for other people. Like you said, this is a big deal for the Latin community, right? They can't even understand that. Why? Because they're not Latin. They're not.
And
but it's like, why does everything have to, you know, benefit you all the time? Why does not everything is, you know, revolving around you all the time? But that's how people like that act. They feel entitled to things to only cater to them. And that's the energy and that's the verbiage that we're hearing and seeing. And it's just really ugly. Like, you're literally mad because he speaks Spanish. Like, you're mad because he's performing and is not performing in English. Like, you're mad because he told you to, you know what this is? If you guys watch The Boys, if any of you guys listening or watching, watch The Boys, you guys know the way everything's going in that show with Gen V and the actual show, it is very, very similar to what is happening in our world right now, currently in our climate, our political climate, everything. So everything that's happening with Trump and everything with the election and everything that's happening, how people are just literally being so divisive, eating the media up, thinking that that gives them a purpose because they hate themselves to shit on other people. That is happening right fucking now. And that's happening in the show. And I just think it's so mind-blowing that you really see people, like, once they have a leader, because people are sheep, once people have a leader to manipulate them, to make them feel like they have a voice, even though deep down they're insecure and pussy and they hate themselves, they then go out and torture other people so that they can feel important. And that is a trait you see in these people. They want everything to be about them. They want this, they want that, they want that. And they don't ever do anything about it. But once one person tells you it's okay, suddenly you see a huge horde of people wanting to abuse other people just because it makes them feel important, which is crazy.
Yeah, it is. And, you know, I had to thank God for Phantom, I think his name is on YouTube.
Twitch?
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, he's also a Twitch streamer.
He's a popular hip-hop artist, song reviewer or something like that. White guy. But
Phantom?
He was recapping this Bad Bunny thing. And it was nice to hear just a reminder, because I guess, like, in my environment, in my work environment, and just the media, you know, I try to ignore the media a lot, but being in work has been very overwhelming for me. So hearing him say, as a white man, just remember that these people are still the minority, that these people are still the least popular opinion, that majority of the people are really happy that Bad Bunny is performing, which I was like, simple, very simple reminder, but a reminder I needed because it's been hard.
To like say, hey, maybe they're not all like that type shit, or
to just like it feels like the world it's so overwhelming. It feels like everyone thinks like that.
Yeah.
When it's like, no, they're actually this small.
They're just pushing it so much so that they can cause a divide and cause a race war. Y'all.
Exactly, because in reality, Kira, my friend, Kira was, black. A bunch of my black friends, a bunch of black people, a bunch of white people,
no problem,
are like, they're literally like, I'm learning. I'm learning his song. No, for real, like that was. I'm like, those are the people that like are fucking lit. Because if it was any other culture, I would be down for it too. Who the fuck cares? How am I sitting there gonna get mad at someone who K-pop when I go to the have Korean barbecue and they play K-pop all the time in the fucking
I'll be
TVs.
here for it. Yo, I've been listening to K-pop before K-pop was trendy, yo. Remember the back in the days. Now look as far it's come. It's crazy.
How am I gonna go to a Jamaican spot and not be hyped if a Jamaican artist gets a performance?
Vibes Cartel.
Right. Like how can you sit there and just
it's weird. It's a mentality. It really is.
It's interesting to bring up because obviously the administration was so upset that Bad Bunny's performing that they decided to fund their own halftime show in a separate network, whatever the fuck is going on.
Wow.
And you know who's leading this? Charlie Kirk's wife.
Wow. And listen, that's a smart move for them to do though.
If I got assassinated in front of everyone and my wife has the mental capacity to host a show not damn near 2 months after my death.
Yeah, this is true.
She was never my fucking wife. Like, this bitch don't love me.
But listen though, like, let's be real. Now, we talked about the numbers. We talked about the business. You know why they're having his wife host it. You know the demographic that they're trying to reach. Charlie Kirk was a part of that demographic. So, of course, having Charlie Kirk's wife host it in honor of Charlie Kirk and all this stuff, you're going to automatically appeal to that demographic. And that's also going to do numbers. Why?
No.
Yeah, not as much as Bad Bunny, but what I'm saying, it's going to do numbers for their demographic. The people that they're trying to appeal to. So to be honest, the business-wise, it's very smart to have the wife host it because you're trying to attract those people. That's what you're going to get. Because they feel like they have nothing because Bad Bunny's hosted. So they want to feel included. They want to feel like they got something to themselves. Let them go over there and watch that, their own halftime show.
If my wife had the fucking brain capacity to sit there and lead a show where do you understand? We all watched the video. To host something.
Yeah.
After that.
Yeah.
If I judge B. Simone for losing her best friend,
I agree.
And going up on there, I'm gonna judge the shit out of her. This is fucking weird. This administration is weird. I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck. There's no emotions. It's all money because if that's the only thing that's driving you to do some shit like that, you have no integrity. You were never his wife. You're fucking weird. Everybody's fucking weird. Nobody else sees something wrong with that. I'm looking at it like, was this really his wife or was this a plain wife?
Brainwash those people in that demographic are. It is so easy to manipulate them. This is exactly why. And I'm speaking from that standpoint. It's so easy for them to look at it, in honor of Charlie Kirk, but they're not looking at it from the standpoint like, damn, like, that was your husband that fucking died in front of you. Like, you don't, why? It's only been a couple of months. Like, you're okay with just going back into something because you probably getting paid for it. Like, it looks very shady.
Fucking weird.
It looks sleazy. It looks fucked up. It
looks out of touch,
hungry,
bitch.
Like
this whole administration.
Right. It does. But then those people, that demographic, they're not going to look at it like that. They're not. They're going to look at it as like, this is my Super Bowl halftime show. And that's exactly the marketing that they are putting out. So cute. But that's what it is. Like, I'm able to see it with a clear eye view. That's literally what this is. And that's why when I see these things in the media, like, I just get so irritated because I'm like, damn, you have people that are of sheep mentality and will eat it the fuck up. And that shit makes me sad because it's like, damn, like, you can't even see through the bullshit. You happy you let it out?
Yeah.
Okay, well, I'm glad you let it out.
I'm very happy. I've been bottling that up. And I was talking to my sister and her boyfriend about it yesterday. I was just venting about it, very little.
Yeah.
And they were like, oh, that's so interesting that you're going through that because all my friends are pretty, like, excited. And I'm like, and that's when I said, going back to the reminders, like, you know, it's so easy to feel like a minority when you have an administration that is, their agenda is to make you feel that way.
Yeah.
So being reminded of that and just speaking about it, and I'm sure, I'm curious to know who's a Bad Bunny fan, and you know, in the petty posse, in the petty crash outs, who understands, because this goes back to the same thing that I've been feeling, like even with Biggie and Baddies, and just the representation of Latinos in general, you know what I'm saying? So it feels good to let this out. It feels good to basically just state my opinion and really just vent about it, because at the end of the day, bro, numbers don't lie. Your feelings and emotions can be all they want, but wait.
And going back to your point about they're pushing an agenda to make certain groups of people feel like a minority, that same agenda they're pushing to make the minorities feel like they are the majority. So that's why you have the majority of that group of people, even though technically they're the minority, because they've been told all their fucking life that they are the majority. They feel so fucking entitled, and they walk like that. They move with that. So that's the energy you feel when they feel entitled to have Kid Rock, even though Kid Rock doesn't do the numbers.
Like, bro,
if you were actually the majority, maybe we would have Kid Rock, darling. But we don't. There's a reason for that.
Exactly.
And the truth is, you and what you subscribe to are not the majority, and it never was. And I'm sorry that you feel entitled to think that it should be for you, because you've been told that you're the majority and you're important and you're this, even though in reality, you're not. That's a hard truth to swallow. But yeah, I just wanted to touch on that point, because this is why we see these types of behaviors in these types of people.
That's a very good point to bring, you know, because it's true. At the end of the day, it's true. These people really don't have anything to feel. They don't have nothing to feel. Like, they just feel so marginalized that they think that, I don't know, you know, those people that never been oppressed, and now they want to feel like they're oppressed because they want to feel like a victim.
Yeah, it's weird.
So now that they have a leader that can, you know, voice that minority, like you said, they sit there and they talk about in a workspace.
You're that comfortable.
We take exams and things that make us liable when it comes to sexual harassment and workplace environments. You're literally liable, and yet you sit there with, and he went like this. He said, "This is America."
Okay, hands up, like strong arm muscle.
Strong-armed.
Yeah.
I'm like, and look how small he became the minute I said, "Don't be talking like that when I'm Latino." His whole fucking face was shaking. Bro, it's those people that piss me the fuck off. Y'all have no base of culture. Like, even when I was talking to these guys at work about my grandma's, you know, they were talking about immigrants and whatever. You can have your opinion on immigrants. I'm not saying that I don't agree. I agree. There was an influx. There was a lot of people that shouldn't have been here. I'm not saying that that's wrong. Right. I agree with you. But there's a way and where and how, right?
Exactly.
Humanity. Have some fucking heart. Anyways, that's not the point. The
this
point
is the guy he's talking about.
Yes, bitch.
Why is this the first picture of Kid Rock that comes out?
Yes. Anyways, they were talking about immigrants, and I was like, oh yeah, I'm glad that
with an American flag scarf around his blue shirt. Okay.
I was like, yeah, I'm glad my grandmas came when they did. And they were like, oh, really? And I'm like, yeah. So I was telling them about my grandma's immigrant story on how she never knew what pizza was, and how they were so offended that my great-grandfather made them try pizza, because that's not what the fuck. They eat rice and beans and meat, like pizza. What the fuck is that? They literally, all 8 of them, including my grandma, was like, we're not eating that. That's not food. And so that's an immigrant story, right? And I'm telling them these folks that I work with, and they're like, wow, really? And in my head, I'm like, were you guys not immigrants too? Like, is your grandma and grandma, I don't get it. Were they born here?
Pizza is a very American type food.
But
so they're not going to get it.
But what I'm saying is, they were not they were not born here. Like their grandparents had to have been immigrants. No, like I'm confused. I don't understand. Like these people make it sound like they was, even if it was Christopher Columbus, bro, he wasn't from here. Like, you know,
but
what I'm saying?
make it seem like for
Right.
real, like yeah, he owned it. Yeah. Like it's weird. It's
Oh
weird.
my-
And we're filming this on Columbus Day. It's just so funny. Today is Christopher Columbus Day, so it's hilarious.
I don't know. I feel like so boring. Stop being so fucking boring. America is a melting pot. America was built off of immigrants. America is built off of multicultures. All these cities, all these people, you know, y'all want to shit on democratic states, but democratic states are the ones that pay the most taxes in America, period. We're the ones that contribute to the most. And it's like,
shit on it.
like, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, y'all talk mad shit, but like at the end of the day, what makes America great is culture. You can come here and have all types of food, or at least the cities, you know, you can have all types of people. Like, it don't just gotta be one way. And I hate that closed-minded ass mentality that, you know, just because, you know, you don't speak English, that it's not American, when Puerto Rico is fucking America.
Which is a really, really big, valid point, that it really blows my mind how people forget that. How do you forget that? How do you talk so ignorantly as if that's weird? That's the main thing that was on my mind. Because I'm like, y'all really talking about this like it's not a part of the U.S. Like,
But they'd be the first ones to go visit. They'd be the first ones to want to buy property there.
Right.
They'd be the first ones to want to eat there.
Like, well, which one of the Pauls, was it Logan or Jake?
Both
that
of them.
Shit about Bad Bunny
Both of them.
Both of them?
Yes.
Oh, I thought it was only one.
It was Logan.
And they both have homes out there. Or was it just Jake?
No, they both.
Jake.
They
both do?
Yes.
Yeah, so they have property out there, and they were talking shit about Bad Bunny and all this stuff. But it's like the difference between you and Bad Bunny is like
he's from there.
You not,
because Logan Paul went on a podcast and was complaining because people, you know, obviously there's backlash for Jake
going
Paul
back to the entitlement
and Logan Paul for moving there because, you know, they were causing ruckus on the beaches. They were ruining the
which we've seen many times.
Yeah, they were doing too much. They were doing things that they do in America out here, which they've done it in other countries, which is why he's banned from fucking Japan.
Right.
All right. So he sat there and tried to play victim and was like, well, you know, everybody's complaining about the tax benefits, but Bad Bunny has the same tax benefits. And yeah, sir, he's from Puerto Rico. You're a colonizer. You are going there to benefit from that. He's going there. And you know what? They talk about, oh, but we're giving back. You have to. You have to give back and employ a certain amount of local Puerto Ricans as a tax incentive in order to have the tax write-offs that you want.
Right.
That's why when Jake Paul wants to sit there, he's fucking ugly. When he plays El Gallo and he wants to walk around with a Puerto Rican flag, like he's really Puerto Rican because he got Amanda Serrano fucking backing him up, making him think he's fucking Puerto Rican. He's sitting there repping the Puerto Rican flag larger than American flag, which is so ugly because it's like you're not Puerto Rican. But he likes to say, oh, but I did boxing bullies and that contributes back to the community, which it does. And it takes a lot of kids out the street. Absolutely. But for a sec, don't try to convince me that it was done out of the pureness of your heart when you have to do it in order to not only receive the tax benefits, but to receive, you have to live there for 6 months. You have to employ local community people in order to get the amount of tax write-offs that you want. It's driven by money, not by pure intention or heart.
Yeah. Agreed.
Ugh, I can't. Wow.
Well, that was a great take. I think that this episode was filled with many informative takes. And, you know, I'm here for Bad Bunny performing at the Super Bowl. I'm down for it. I know it's going to be a crazy, crazy time. Let's see if it's going to surpass. If you think it's going to surpass, comment your thoughts below about this. What do you guys think about this? I mean, is there anything you've seen? Is there anything we've missed? Is there anything that's happened to you personally? Like, you know, when talking about Bad Bunny, have you experienced anything at work or with anyone? Is it the same for you, or are people hyped around you? So, like, comment that below. Let us know your thoughts.
Yeah. I mean, I agree. Thank you guys for letting me vent on this
No, for
episode. I was
real.
very passionate, almost cried a few times. But
it
feels good to let it out.
Yeah, so yeah, definitely. If you want to let us know where you're from too, do that in the comments. Let us know where you're from, all that jazz. So where can they find you?
You guys can find me on Instagram. That's JESSI.strange. And where can they find you, Tiana?
You guys can find me on Instagram at randommania1. You guys can find us on Instagram at
The Petty Headquarters.
You guys can find us on YouTube and all podcast platforms at
The Petty Headquarters.
We release episodes weekly. And with that being said,
This was your weekly dose of mess.
mess.